Welcome to the Pharos Fit podcast, where we help you to explore your capacity to move better, push further, and achieve your limitless potential through fitness, nutrition, recovery, and lifestyle. Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas. We are sitting here between Christmas and New Year. I'm here with Emily Cavell. Hey Emily.
Hello.
My long-suffering wife, and Brendan. Hey Brendan. What's up, guys? Long-suffering producer. Merry Christmas, dude. Hope you guys all had a great one. We just got back from Idlewild, which was beautiful. We loved it.
It really was. It was a nice little winter wonderland.
It was a white Christmas, and it was beautiful. But we are very excited about the new year, and the reason we are so excited about the new year is because we have our new Pack Limitless challenge. We do these challenges every year. This will be our 9th one or 10th one.
Our 10th one. So we've done, so we do 3 a year. One in the new year, one in the summer, and one right before the holidays generally. This past year, 2020, we actually did 3 challenges back to back during quarantine. So if you've been with us for a long time, you know that we kind of revisited our Limitless challenge. And then now that we're going into 2021, it's exciting to kind of take all of the challenges that we've done before, all of the strategies, resources, tools, tips, tricks, trades, and most importantly, I think our like involvement and communication and engagement and support that we can get with our community. Yeah.
So on that note, let's talk about we're going to give you guys a lot of information today, but I want to start with...
today's like, if you were curious about the Limitless challenge, wanted any more information, or hell, if you've done every single challenge we have ever produced, because you are like that, then it'll be interesting for you also to kind of see how we're shaking things up.
Yeah, so let's ask the fundamental question, like what makes this challenge different?
I think the biggest thing is the point of it. I think a lot of fitness challenges come from with this messaging of, you know, like let go of the holiday pounds or worse, like let go of your 2020 weight, you know, all the get back on track after 2020 derailed you, like all of that kind of like messaging that normally I think in the new year is welcomed. Like, okay, fresh, clean, blank slate. My life is what I can make it. Let's try, you know, I think that coming off the cusp of 2020, like people do not need a arduous challenge that focuses on superficial things like body fat percentage or you know, points, leaderboards, you know, competition in the terms of all or nothing, just that like 100% mentality. You know, I think that this challenge is going to be a welcomed environment that like really allows you to reframe and let go of 2020 and instead focus on like what you can add to your life that brings you joy. Because a lot of times we have these goals on ourselves that is just more reasons to hate ourselves. Like you put this thing like that we're not good enough, that like there's always 1% more that we need, or I'll be happy when I lose these extra pounds, or I'll be able, you know, it comes from a place of, you know, not liking who you are and wanting to change that.
And I think the key word you used there is add. A lot of this challenge is based on what you can add into your life as opposed to what you need to take out of it.
Right, because every challenge is like no gluten, no sugar, no alcohol, no blah blah blah, no blah blah, and stop doing this and nope, nope, nope. You know, it's so much around deprivation. Like how can we add things to our lives that makes it better? And a lot of those things are just, they have nothing to do with what you think of as fitness or nutrition. You know, it may be your morning routine or your journaling or you're getting enough hydration, like these habits, you know, so focusing more on building a set of habits that you can be very proud of, that no matter what your goals are, and if they are, you know, fun and superficial and you want to like, you know, have your best body yet, or you just want to like be a happier human, or you want to get your brain back on track and clear out some of the gunk of 2020 and reframe your focus on what actually matters to you. I would just love for that to be the biggest takeaway of this challenge. You know, if people lose fat and gain muscle and have the best body of their life after this, then I think that will be the cherry on top of the sundae that is building these habits, having a community that supports you, having coaching. One of the biggest things that I think sets this challenge apart from other challenges that we've done is actually going to be our role in that. We have, I think in the past couple years, at least, we've taken kind of a backseat to the challenge. We've created and supported the environment and hired the coaches to do the things. But I would love to get back to getting one-on-one with our community, engaging with them. We'll be meeting with you weekly over a live stream group Q&A chat that will be holding things with different themes, and you'll be able to talk with Pete and I. So I think that also is a big differentiating factor.
Yeah, that's actually something I'm really excited about. Just because, over the last year, but a couple of years really, like Emily said, we have taken a backseat somewhat in these challenges, and it was something that, we always enjoyed, but we felt like, we could use our coaches for, and obviously it helped them earn money and have a bigger role in the company, which was important to us. But now I feel like, especially with the last year and how how alienating the quarantine situation has been for some people and how detached some people feel, I think it's really important that...
Or how detached we feel. We've just been putting our heads down in this cocoon of just preserve our business and do what we have to do in order to make this live and breathe again. And now I feel like we coming out and getting back to what matters most to us.
Reestablishing connections and reaffirming connections and, playing a very important role and probably the biggest event of the year for us in terms of connection and in terms of motivation and in terms of knowledge and in terms of how we can affect your daily pursuit. And it's, as Emily was saying, it's very easy just to tell someone, this is what you should eat, this is what you should do, etc., etc. The problem is it doesn't work. It never has worked long term. You can't just tell someone, eat this, eat that, do this, do that, and expect it to last for a very long time. It's always very finite. They might be able to stick with it for a short period of time, but long term, the wheels always fall off. The real value is giving people understanding and giving people what they truly need in order to thrive long term. And that honestly is routine and habit. And building these good habits. And I think a lot of this challenge is just going to be about building good habits throughout your day.
Right. We say success is the sum of small efforts over time and the consistency to just stick with something. And a part of that, we say showing up is 90%. That's our version of that. A part of that is finding a group that you want to show up for, finding something that you like to do, finding a community and a support system that you want to do it for consistently over time. So it's just, can we implement the right habits and can you have the right environment and support system and in order to want to show up and do it over and over and over again.
Yeah, and it's from the moment I wake up, how do I need to start my day in order to have a good day? How do I need to finish my day in order to have a good day the next day?
Yeah, and not by the standards of somebody else. Let's figure out what your actual formula is. Right. And it isn't Joel from accountant down the street said intermittent fasting and blah, blah, blah. It shouldn't be based off of that. It should be really kind of figuring out and fine tuning your own formula.
Yeah, I think that's a problem these days. Is you have such a big insight into other people's lives through social media, Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. People get oh my God, I should be doing this because so-and-so's doing it. And then I should be doing that because so-and-so's doing it. And then you read a magazine that says, oh, you should try this, you should try that. And people just have a million different ideas in their heads about what they should and shouldn't be doing. I should be eating vegan because this documentary said so. I should be, like you said, intermittent fasting, or I should be only eating potatoes or whatever it is. So yeah, it really is finding what works for you. We are big believers in individuality, and not everything works for everybody. You have to find the thing that works for you. So a lot of this challenge is really going to be about that, finding the path of your day that is most successful. How do you start your day? What do you need in the house to have a successful day? Who do you need to communicate with to feel your best? How do you finish your day? Like we said, building those habits, building routine, having the things around that you need to thrive. And it's going to be a little bit experimental, as it always is. And you will have some successes and you will have some failures, but you will ultimately learn over the course of the 6 weeks, what you need to have the.
And that is the difference, because I think at the beginning when you say eat this, eat that, blah blah blah, it's like, okay, well, it either worked or it didn't, and you either followed it or you didn't, and it either worked or it didn't. But when you go through a process like this, it's like a 6-week deep dive into what works for you. So you might not know on day one what works for you, but by the end of that or by like week by week and day by day, you're building those components of what you want your life to look like. Yeah. And I say that because, like, what you want your life to look like. For me, my challenge, my hope for the challenge personally, as if I'm doing, because I'm going to participate because it's fun. That's the whole point of it. Group camaraderie, baby. But my quote unquote goals are not at all about body fat percentage or body composition or anything like that. Mine is all about direction. Like what direction do I want my life and my family's life and my business's life to go in? And can I take 6 weeks to work on building my own habits and my own needs and my own wants in order to set myself up for that? So there's kind of a small focus of day-to-day habits, but then there's a larger focus of what do you actually want for your life? And a lot of times when you dig deep enough, then the goals are much deeper than just like, oh, well, it'd be great to rock around with 10% body fat. It would be great to like squat, deadlift 2 times my body weight. And while like those are really fun goals and we totally support those as well, it's really nice when you have the umbrella of a value system of like the life that you're looking to lead.
Yes.
So
good.
it doesn't.
I think that's key. Yeah. And it's also like recognizing boundaries, recognizing your own rules that you want to make for yourself, and
your non-negotiables.
What are your non-negotiables? Exactly. Because these are the things, like identifying the things that derail you are very important, because if you can take those out, then you do start to build the day that you want and thus the life that you want. And I think for all of 2020's nightmares, I think it did give us give a lot of us a chance to really like sit back and think, okay, what kind of life do we really want for ourselves? How do we want our lives to look? How do we want our kids' lives to look? What kind of family situation do we want? Where do we want to live? What kind of house do we want? What kind of business do we want? What kind of employees do we want? How do we want our employees to feel? How do we want them to thrive? Like, how do we create opportunities for them? I think me and you both, we don't just want a company that makes us successful. We want a company that makes everyone involved in the company successful. Right.
And the entire entity itself, whether you are a team member or just a member, like it's got to work for everyone. Otherwise it's not going to work at all.
Exactly. So it's really, I think this year was really enhanced that for us.
And what's interesting is that it took slowing down, right? It took stopping. It took getting perspective. It took taking time. It took a lot of hardships. It took all of the things that we're too proud to talk about. It takes all of those things for you to start to actually examine what it is that you need and what it is that you want by your own standards, not by anyone else's standards. Yeah. And so that's kind of fun, because I think a lot of 6-week challenges are like, and that's how it feels. And right. I think that you will find that this challenge will actually feel a lot more, a lot slower paced, in that, the tortoise gets farther than the hare in the end. They get there,
Right. And this can be summarized. If you do go to the Pharos app, you'll see a little section under the Limitless Challenge. And it will say a 6-week program designed for anyone at any level looking to redefine health and happiness, build resilient habits, and live limitless. So hopefully everything we just kind of said lives up to that description.
My favorite word in that entire thing, by the way, is resilient.
Yeah.
I think
if you got through 2020, you already have it.
That's what I mean. And that's what I'm talking. Like, you already have it. You know, like 2020, the biggest accomplishment is if you made it here. You know, like if you are just like head above water. We talked about this with the business, right? Like right now, we're not framing goal growth. Like there's no growth. There's no, and perhaps there should be. But you know, we reframed our brain to be like, okay, right now, making it is serving the community that we have and keeping our heads above water. And that is, you know, and that is like what we need.
Yeah, and I think another key word is happy and happiness. I think a lot of the time, what people think is going to make them happy doesn't actually make them happy, and the things they don't expect.
And then it makes them
happy,
sadder because it doesn't happen. The expectation doesn't live up to the reality, but it isn't what we even wanted in the first place. It's just what we thought we wanted.
Yeah. So really, it's finding what does make you happy, and then making sure your actions align with that pursuit. As opposed to like so many people, I just want to be 8% body fat. That will make me so happy. Well, I've seen it a bunch of times. It's a short-lived love affair, and you know it doesn't last long. So, you know, but I would argue that if I can find the healthy habits that allows me to be 8% body fat long term, and it genuinely does make me a happy, more successful, more highly functioning human being, then that does have value. But But the body fat percentage is the cherry on top. Yeah. If you starve and restrict and hate your life to get to 8% body fat, then chances are it wasn't fucking worth it. Yeah,
then you only have a bowl with one cherry and nobody likes that. You want the whole sundae.
That's true.
The visualization of this challenge podcast, by the way, is everyone listening to this and thinking about ice cream. Big bowls of ice cream with cherries on top.
Yeah, when we say that this is about adding stuff to your life, we don't mean like ice cream, donuts,
or not. But it does mean that we're not taking those things out of your life. You know.
Right.
Yeah. So funny.
Let's talk about some of the logistics with the challenge and how it's going to be broken down. So first of all, let's talk about support system. You've kind of mentioned it already, but what are the support systems that are involved in this challenge?
So the biggest thing is that when you sign up, you will get access to your nutrition coach, and that is Bethany Walls. And if you have, she's new to our team, but not new to our community. She's been in our community for the past 3 years, I believe. She's done several Limitless challenges on her own, and she's a nutritionist and has a lot of background on the psychology of nutrition, as well as working with everyone from minors with eating disorders to just everyday humans trying to get through life, and help to redefine their goals around health, fitness, and nutrition. So we're super excited to have her as a big asset and resource during this time, and during this challenge in particular. Does she prescribe macros and do all of that type of stuff? Yeah, she absolutely can, knows as much science and can help you with as many formulas. So if you are into the deep dive and the experimentation of, counting calories and macros and all of that, it's okay, well then she can do that. But I think her biggest asset is the why. It's the behavior behind it. It's the mindset. It's really bridging the gap between nutrition guidance, as in do this, do that, and then nutrition behaviors, and really aligning those two worlds. So I'm super thrilled to have her. You get 2 virtual check-ins with her, so at the beginning and kind of midway, halfway / latter half. There's also an opportunity to upgrade. So there's kind of people fall into 2 different camps. They're okay, I just want to be involved, or they're no, I want this and I want it. I want it all. And I want continual support. I want to be checking in weekly. I want the opportunity to, really hone in and put a lot of energy and commitment and time on this, and use these 6 weeks as kind of a crash course in that. So we have opportunities for upgrades. We can talk about, the pricing and all of that kind of stuff later. But you essentially get to meet with Bethany either twice or 6 times, depending on what you're into. And then you'll also get, we're doing group sessions with Peter and I every single week. We'll go in with ideas and themes and things that we know that we want to talk about, but it'll also be opportunities to just ask questions, get logistics, and connect with us every single week.
Yeah, I think one of the key things, of course, is knowledge and understanding. And we want these Q&As to really give you guys a chance to get to the root of any questions you may have, any issues. It could be about food, it could be about sleep, it could be about supplements, it could be about working out.
And I'm so excited to do it in a group setting, because I feel like you learn more, just like fitness, just like we say results are accelerated in a group environment when it comes to fitness, like that energy that of like working out next to somebody. But then for some reason, like therapy or guidance or check-ins are always like kind of done more one-on-one. And so I'm very excited about doing this in the group dynamic, because I think a lot of people are experiencing the same things across the board, and being able to connect with each other, not just us. So support system, meaning it's also all the people who are doing the challenge as well. Going through it, all being able to communicate about it. We'll have a community forum. We're working with an app that we'll talk about later, but community, commenting and forums on that. I
find as well, like a classroom, you tend to learn more in a classroom setting as opposed to just reading. I was thinking about this the other day, like, why did things stick in my head more when I was in a classroom, when I was at university or when I was in school, as opposed to like, sometimes I read things and I have to read it like again and again and again for it to truly like sink in and be like cemented as knowledge in my brain.
Sure.
Whereas when I was in a classroom, it would like, when you had that kind of interactive experience, and maybe it's because things were said in a certain way or a certain voice like got in your head and you remembered a phrase or you remembered like it just stuck better.
Yeah, and so your word was experience, that experiential, making it experiential instead of just like, do this, do that. Okay, cool, check in next week. It's like, that isn't going to work.
Yeah. I think you pay more attention in the moment because everything is live and it's happening, and you're a part of that experience. And sometimes it's easier for your eyes to just kind of glaze over the page and you think you're taking it all in, and then you're just not. So it's like, for me, it's an exciting way to really like let knowledge consume you, and you be like completely immersed. Aware in that moment and completely immersed. Yeah. So I'm excited about doing that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So that is in terms of the support. So obviously nutrition, and then fitness, health, and just kind of bullshitting around with Peter and I on a weekly basis. And there's also daily text messages that go out. So support and accountability comes every single day in one form or another. So whether you are just logging into the app and getting your daily dose of motivation, or you are checking in with someone one-on-one, or you are logging on and getting together with the group. The idea is that you have 6 weeks of support and, every resource to help you get there.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be sending out a text, and those texts will be either motivational, or they'll be knowledge-based, or they'll be just something practical that maybe have helped you. So, I think these things are...
Or a challenge, a weekly, or a task, homework assignment.
Yeah.
We give homework.
Yeah.
You got to work.
These things are important because of connection. It keeps people on the rails.
Absolutely. Just like to your point of being in the classroom. The accountability of knowing that someone cared whether or not you are on it, and that you're doing the things that you say matter to you, or calling you out when you start to get tripped up on... maybe somebody else trying to walk somebody else's journey. And it's like, yo, we met, we know that this isn't actually what you care about. Right. That, don't let Instagram bring you down the rabbit hole. Don't let comparison be the thief of your joy.
So let's talk about the community forum and the chat with the group. So this is a forum where everybody involved in the challenge can all like talk about experiences, or talk about successes, or talk about struggles or failures, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to talk about like the whole platform as a whole. So we are working together with an app that allows us to release both our program, so as in the Limitless Challenge program will be released through this app, as well as the workouts of the day, so the hybrid programming. And then we're also launching, I'm very excited about Peter's high performance hypertrophy, which would be an at-home HPH, not to be confused with HGH, but
the end result is the same.
Woo! Putting the two against each other, I like it. But we'll be releasing those programs and allowing you to have some kind of performance tracking. So every single day there'll be a task, whether it is habit-based via the Limitless Challenge, right? Or whether you want to track your workouts for the day, or you want to follow along with high performance hypertrophy, blah, blah, blah. So for each of those, we'll have a community forum where you can like comment on the workouts of the day. You can post your scores. You can share your day with your coach and with your community. Yeah. So for instance, I could go through my day of my Limitless Challenge and I'm like, all right, did I sweat? Did I hydrate? Did I check in? Did I do, all these things? We'll talk about it. Did I do the task? And then I can share my results. There'll be a quote unquote leaderboard based off of kind of points off of that. And but more importantly, it's really just like an interactive way for us to communicate. So coaches to members, teams to each other, comment on each other's days, comment on ask any questions, comment on the workouts, share your suffering with others.
Yeah. Well, one thing I really like about this app is it allows me very, very quickly and very, very directly to comment on workouts. So if you guys have a question about a workout or want to tell me about how it felt or tell me about the score you did or what you lifted, it allows me very quickly to respond to that. It's not like an email that I have to like sift through. It's just going to come directly to my phone. It's going to pop up and it's going to say so-and-so commented on a workout, and it allows me to respond very, very quickly. And not only acknowledge what you did, but also like if I have any comments on it, it allows me to communicate with you about it. So
answer
I'm
any
super pumped for that.
questions,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
So very excited about the community forum, and just the app in general. We say that like the thing that we're giving is a roadmap to follow and a support system to get you there. And the roadmap is not our way. It is not the way. It is helping you to figure out your way. And we have the, resources and the strategies and some of our own maybe past failures and experiences to help shed some light on, and the experiences of our entire group. And that's kind of the fun of it. We will learn from each other even more than the curriculum that we've created for the templated curriculum that we have created for it. So I am excited about the app because it allows us to track workouts, track habits, log workouts, chat with coaches, chat with the team, and have kind of one designated place where you're doing that, which means you're not being inundated with challenge stuff all day, every moment of your life for 6 weeks is thinking about this challenge, right? It also allows you to be like, okay, I'm signing on. I'm immersing myself into the challenge. All right, I'm checking in. But you're not getting pinged every day, every minute that in a group text chain with 100 people that we're all, it's just going to be a lot better organized way to stay excited, but also not be too annoyed. Because sometimes that happens. We're in a challenge and it's like, you just get challenge overload. You're like 4 weeks in and you're like, oh, I can't take it anymore. So I really feel like the way that we've structured this will allow you to recommit every single week and be excited about that and have the support system to like make it through the 6 weeks where everybody can win,
Tell us more about the habits.
Oh yeah.
Break them down.
So we're going to break it down. We've kind of laid it out that the keys to success is consistency in these following 6 areas. Did you sweat? Sweating is important. Did you hydrate? Because your body's made of 70% water, and a lot of times hunger is hydration, is lack of hydration in disguise, right? Being dehydration in disguise.
The gallon challenge.
The gallon challenge. It's coming.
It's coming.
But not for the whole time. Don't worry. Don't stress yourself out. It is fun. So did you sweat? Did you hydrate? And then did you journal? And that is so important and overlooked. I've had a journal. I mean, Pete came across my journals from middle school, and I just about died when he told me that he read them. I'm like, why would you read my journals? I still act like that. But
they weren't hidden, by the way. Like, it was in the garage. It was open. I just happened upon it. And I was like, I wonder what this is. And I started reading. I was like, oh, it's Emily's journal from
1998. But I've been journaling for a long time, and it's not something I don't do it every day, but I think about how, wow, I've been doing something since 1998, like I've been doing something long enough consistently over the course of it. And so that can either be a freeform journal, it can be food logging. Some people are into food logging, and it is a helpful tool to help them gain awareness. Sometimes it causes people to go down the rabbit hole, so we don't recommend food tracking for every person. So journal is journal specific to what you think you might need. All right, so we have, did you sweat? Did you hydrate? Did you journal, or did you check in with yourself? And then this big one, did you get outside? Especially after a year of being locked up inside. It's just so important to get outside, experience the world, to hear hummingbirds, to, see green things, to see life living, and obviously to get some vitamin D and some sunshine. So did get outside, and then repair. There'll be a section for repair, and that is either, getting your stretch on, or we'll be releasing meditations from Andre, and then
it's also stuff like Epsom salt baths,
right? Did you take care of yourself? Like, for as hard as you push yourself, did you give back to yourself? I know I will be leaning into that one hard. And then finally, and maybe most important, did you connect? And there will be many different opportunities for connection. Did you connect with someone from the challenge? Did you participate in the forums? Did you, connect with your coaches?
Yeah, and I think it should be like a meaningful connection.
It has to be meaningful.
It's not like I went on a rant on Instagram and started like
connected, and someone was like, "Yeah, woohoo! I hear you. Hands up, raise the roof." Right, a meaningful connection that made an impact, where you stopped and took a moment and connected with somebody. Yeah. So we'll be basically breaking down these habits over the course of 6 weeks. So not all habit all at once. We're not throwing everything in the kitchen sink. We're kind of loading it slowly. We are adopting what we would do any strength training program. It is progressive overload. It is we're gonna do
the double bonus day, right?
Oh, and we'll do a double bonus. Now we're getting really into it. But for those who are into the performance tracking and are like, how do I get points? How do I win? How do I blah 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 blah? We're going to
incentivize.
We will incentivize some good habits. But I'm just mostly excited that we're not going at this point where, it's going to bring me no joy to sit and meet with people and be like, all right, so did you hit your macros for this week? I don't think that brings anyone any joy. So finding opportunities to just talk about our days, and to talk about our habits, and to, improve the little small things that make a big difference over time. That's really what what the habit building tracking is all about.
Yeah. So just to kind of summarize, guys, 6 weeks to build great habits, insert things into your life that are going to help you live a better day and thus a better existence. You have your head coach, Bethany Walls, who's going to go through all the nutrition. And again, it's the psychology of nutrition. So it's not just what you eat, but it's why you eat what you eat. And understanding yourself and why you often turn to certain things at certain times. And the fascinating...
And strategies to overcome that.
And again, it's not about denial, and it's not about restrictions so much as just about truly understanding, the foods you turn to in times of stress and why that might be. And again,
and understanding that we don't just eat for body fat composition, right? We eat for pleasure, we eat for fuel, we eat for energy, we eat for things, right? So understanding and then using that why to serve your nutrition.
We will be doing our weekly quick Q&A with me and Emily, which we're super excited about. So you'll have plenty of interaction with us. You have, of course, the whole community on a forum who will be interacting with, sharing experiences, asking questions, answering questions, maybe making helpful suggestions, the things that may have worked in your day that you might want to suggest to somebody else.
Recipes, all
that good stuff. And then, of course, the app itself, which will be very interactive, the most interactive app we've ever had.
Yeah, honestly, if we can be very transparent with y'all, this is a beta test to see if we want to introduce, like right now, we release programming on a blog, basically, and you follow along. But now we will be releasing it in the app where you can track the workouts. You can view the workouts over time. There will be videos attached. So if you're like, how do I do this thing? Then there's a video library that attaches all of the programming with exercise libraries. I'm very excited to see how and if this works for our community, because it'll probably be something that post Limitless Challenge, if people are excited about it, that we'll bring on full time.
Yeah. So for this all sounds good to you guys, go to the app, sign up it's under 6 weeks challenge, or is it under Limitless?
It's under 6 week challenge.
It's under 6 week challenge.
You can sign up via the Pharos app. You can also go to www.jointhepack.fit/limitless-challenge. And of course, if you won't remember that, because you won't, it'll be at the bottom of the show notes, and then you should be able to just click it right there. So head to the bottom of the show notes. You can obviously get more information about that. You can read all the ad copy that explains in very small detail short snippets of what we have just kind of communicated about. That's always the thing with ad copy. I'm like, I don't want to write a web page that tries to sell it. I just want to talk to people and be, I want to talk directly to them. I don't want to have to worry about the words I'm using and I just want to have an honest conversation about how excited I am about this challenge and how I can't wait for you to join us.
Yeah. I think it generally is going to be the best one we've ever done, and I'm really excited about it. So we want you guys to sign up. We want everyone in our community to sign up. We want to make this
it doesn't matter where you are, Los Angeles, anywhere. It is all virtual, and you can do it anywhere. And if you are mostly just interested in the brilliant programming of Peter and the high performance hypertrophy, it will be within the Limitless Challenge. It's not available to get outside of the Limitless Challenge right now. It may be later, but if you want to get in on high performance hypertrophy, then sign in for the Limitless Challenge.
Yeah, it's going to be great, guys. I'm super excited. Okay, great. I think that's everything, right?
I mean, everything and also nothing at the same time. You know what I mean? As in, like, the anticipation. People are on the edge of their seats and they're like, all right, ready to go. That's how I felt.
Okay, guys. Thanks, Emily. Well done.
Thank you.
That was a lot of information.
I know. I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay, guys. That's it for today. Super excited about this. So please sign up, and we will be back with you real soon. I think we're going to get Bethany in, right?
Yeah, we have Bethany. Our next podcast is actually going to be with Bethany.
Yeah.
You can get an idea about her, all about her, and fall in love with her just like we have. And so
stay tuned for that one.
Stay tuned for that one. It'll be the next one released.
Okay, guys. Until next time, take care. We'll be back with you soon.
Bye.